Hello and welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth.
And I am Stacey Earlywine, and we are glad that you joined us today.
We are. We're going to have a great show. Today we're talking about theater.
Theater. Just the sound makes you sound like you're elegant or something, doesn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to the theater today.
Yes. Clay County has a rich history of theaters.
Which is really surprising because, like, we think of theaters, we think of the Fox, which we both truly love the Fox Theater in St. Louis. Now, granted, ours weren't as grand as the Fox, but they were magnificent.
They were.
From what I understand. I wish they would have stuck around for us.
I know.
Yeah, that would have been nice had they stuck around for us, but they didn't.
Nope, long gone.
Just movie theaters is what we remember, but we're going to talk a little bit about an actual opera house that we had, and we're going to talk a little bit about the early movie theaters of Clay County.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then we didn't even touch on it. We mentioned it one time. Remember, we did the one show with famous people who came to Clay County, and Roy Rogers came. Clay City had that
Clay City
theater.
had a theater. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to mention that. Clay City had one.
Clay City had one. Did Louisville ever have one?
I don't know. Not sure about that one.
Have to stop and think about that. I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, so if you're new to By the Way with Beth and Stacey, we always talk about things from the past. We talk about history of Clay County, and we talk about nostalgic items and old things and anything to do with the past. We love it all. We always start our show with a Better Homes and Gardens magazine.
Yes, we do.
And talk about some spectacular things in there from back in the day.
This Better Homes and Gardens.
It's really like walking into a doorway into the 1952
it is.
Or whatever year we have
the 50s, because I think I love the 50s. I love, it's like I love the 50s, I love the 70s, I love the 80s. Actually, on my Pandora right now, it's funny you mentioned that. It's the 50s on my Pandora. Yeah,
I don't have Pandora. I do XM, but I can leave my station on 50s all week long.
Yeah, I do-wopped all the way up here today.
Yeah, my kids are like, really, Mom?
Ooh, see, I love
the
50s.
All right, fine. We'll switch to the 60s.
Well, and it was funny because it was like, you had your I put your head on my shoulder was on, and little Elvis, little sister, all this stuff was on. And then Patsy Cline came up, I Fall to Pieces. And you forget about the good country music in the 50s.
Oh, yeah, there was excellent country music in the 50s.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, let's do a little zooming in here. Our Better Homes and Gardens. Whoop! Sorry, the cover's a little crazy, peeps.
This one's falling apart.
It's falling apart. But we were talking about it a little bit earlier. And, Better Homes and Gardens, May 1952.
Okay, that's a cool cover. I like the sun porch on that one. But let's just jump right into the ad. Because it's a
big
two-pager.
It's a two-pager. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
Let's move out on the porch.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Look at this. This is all our pictures today, or several pictures of your back porch, and of course it is springtime. So it's kind of trying to. We're just going to get you guys to the spring spirit here. Now, see this one on the left, the lady sitting in the yellow, probably reading her A Better Homes and Gardens magazine. That looks like Bill and Robin Atwood's back porch. She's even got that white furniture. They bought the Rudy house out there on 050.
Yes.
It sits back up there, and their back porch, that reminds me so much of their back porch.
Oh, nice.
And I believe it's even I think it's Kay Rudy. I think it's her even white wicker furniture that's still out there.
Oh, nice.
But look at her. She's sitting there reading her magazine in her beautiful yellow dress. She and I got a lot in common today. She's wearing yellow, too.
So that's like just a sun porch, basically, on the back.
Just a nice little sun porch.
I'm checking out the picture on the right.
Oh, yeah.
That large clock on the wall, how awesome is that?
That looks like something you'd buy at Hobby Lobby today.
Yeah, it does. Sure does.
Look at that. Is that plaid furniture? I love that footstool.
I love the footstool, too.
The footstool is beyond cool.
Yes.
What's on her table? Let's look at some of the stuff. Oh, brass. I never was a brass person.
Yeah, I'm not a big brass
Now,
fan.
my Aunt Barb Cunningham, was a big brass girl. She had brass everywhere, but it tarnishes. But, yeah, that's a really cool. And I'm looking at the rug and the wall. The walls, those green walls. But look at the ceiling.
Yeah, she even painted her ceiling green.
I feel like a ceiling that's painted color, shortens your house.
I do, too. I like it to feel tall. But it looks like maybe that was a room with tall ceilings anyway.
Probably.
So maybe it can handle it.
But yeah, she's got this super cool lampshade that matches the ceiling and the
I love how matchy they were back then.
Great.
I mean, the walls match the ceiling, match the clock, match the footstool, which matches the rug.
My favorite is whenever the couch matches the rug and the drapery.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we can't see her draperies, but I know they're.
I bet they are too, but yeah, she's adorable. And then we're going to go back to some more pictures here, darling.
Okay.
Oh,
this is the opposite side here. This is still the,
the Better Homes and Gardens. Yeah, look at those. I wish I could grow geraniums like that.
Oh, wow. Those are pretty.
Now, see this one. Look at that yellow chair. Once again, it looks like we're turning back to the 50s,
Yeah,
guys.
we are, because that yellow chair looks like something you could just go pick up right now to put on your back deck.
It does, don't it?
It looks like a folding lawn chair you might take to a softball game.
Yeah, and even the furniture with the legs.
Yes,
I love their. It looks like they've got like actually.
Are they on the ocean?
No, I feel like that's a brick wall.
Oh,
I feel like it's a brick wall.
It's their fence.
It's their fence.
I think because this is maybe there was another picture somewhere I saw, and they did have a fence in the backyard. But from where I'm looking, I thought, my goodness.
Well, we'll pretend it's the ocean because I love that.
The ocean.
And then what are those on the far left, like where you see the chair? And are those called elephant ear plants? They got like that ginormous leaf, but it looks like a heart. But I guess it would look like an elephant. But aren't they called?
I don't think that's an elephant ear. I don't think it's big enough.
But there are plants called elephant ears.
Yeah,
right?
there are. Mm-hmm.
And then we've got over here to the right. Once a neat little brick. There has to be a fireplace there, but it's hard to tell. Oh, and I think down below there, I'm looking at the magazine up close. There's another magazine down in the bottom. Looks like right to the right of the TV, okay. And that TV's pretty cool.
Let's talk about that green that's going on at the bottom of the screen, because seriously, everything in that picture is green. So much there's like no
holy
contrast.
Cow! I can't even see anything.
Their furniture is painted green. Their walls are green. Their blinds are green. Their artwork is green.
What's the trim is green.
The trim is green.
But did you notice that the door is a split door?
Yes. Do you know that I have wanted a split door in my house ever since I was a little girl and watched Mr. Ed?
Now what? Why? What's the purpose of the split door? Because it looks like it.
I guess to keep your children in, but to let the but to let the flies inside. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not a screen.
No, I don't think they did much screens back then, but many screens. But I want a split door. I would love a split door, even if it was on the interior of my house, like it was just like into a kitchen or something. From a hallway. I think that'd be so cute.
Okay, don't you think though, with everything the same color, would you maybe think that was a full open door and hit that sucker? And
oh yeah, it almost looks like a window, honestly, instead of a door, because it's all painted. Yeah, I'm all about. I like contrast. I like a lot of contrast.
I like a lot of contrast, and I don't like anything to match. I really don't care. Like you can buy a couch or whatever and that type of thing, but I really don't care for anything to match. I like different furniture, but that's my love of auctions.
Yeah.
I love auctions, so.
Yes, I like, to be a little bit more contrast in a room, especially more than that green room.
Well, yeah, and I wonder if people are coming, I wonder if the ceiling painting craze was in the 50s.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those crazes that comes and goes.
Yeah, I would never paint my ceiling. Well, first of all, because ceilings, I hate painting ceilings.
I do too.
You talk about a backbreaker, my goodness. Yeah, even like if you want to retouch up paint them babies white and let it ride.
I painted my ceilings this past summer at my house.
You did?
Yes, I did, because I had lived there for over 20 years, and in some of the rooms I think they had been painted, but some of the rooms I don't think had been painted in 20 years, the ceilings.
Really?
But I paint my walls fairly often.
I like to paint the walls,
but this time I was like, you know what? It's just I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and do the ceilings, because we have gas furnace, and that causes discoloration over time.
Oh yeah, I guess it would. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't paint mine, and we did some remodeling. We had to, and it's like, oh, it's just white. Get that, and I'll be dipty-dude if like one. So he's like, I said, I can't imagine I would do a semi-gloss on, and we painted. I just said, get the flat white, and boy, it don't match up, and it's still white, but one's semi-gloss and one's.
Oh yeah.
And I can't even. Jim was like, we probably better get up there and get that painted. That's probably driving you crazy. It's like I don't even
You don't even look at it?
I don't even look at it. And you really only know what it's like if the sun's shining in.
Right,
which is,
and I have been in your house many times, and I have never noticed that your ceilings are 2 different shades of paint on them.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's good. I'm glad she didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't notice,
well, because you're nosy.
Would. Yeah.
And I'm nosy, and we have a love affair of homes.
Yeah.
So if Beth and I come into your homes, we're going to be like...
but no one's going to let us in their doors now, Stacey. Stop it.
Well, that's true. When we come knocking on your door to take a gander at the next houses on episodes, because we do love old houses.
We do.
Well, Beth, tell our folks where they can catch us at.
Okay, yes. So we are on channel 100 on Wabash Communications daily, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. And then we're also on YouTube. For those of you that don't live locally and want to watch us, you can keep up with us on our YouTube channel, which is called By the Way with Beth and Stacey, and that's Stacey with an EY at the end. You can also find us on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page, By the Way with Beth and Stacey, and you can always email us at bytheway@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So we would love to hear from you. We like to hear comments, questions, corrections occasionally. We
really
get
like
some. I will say that there's not been very many corrections at all on anything that we've talked about.
No, there really hasn't.
I have had a few people comment and say, well, you could have added this, or you remember that time that you were trying to think of that word and you couldn't? It's this. One of the first episodes we talked about famous people that came to Flora, and I could not think of Roy Rogers' dog's name.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had several people comment and
Somebody
message me and tell me the name. And one of them was my dad. He texted me right away as soon as he saw the episode.
What was the dog's name?
Well, I knew he would ask, and it meant so much to me that I did not keep that file saved.
What was the dog?
It was either Bullet or Trigger. And see,
Trigger's the horse.
Okay, then it's Bullet. Then it's Bullet. Everyone's going to correct me again. It won't stay in my brain, the name of that dog.
Trigger. I know Trigger's the horse because he's stuffed somewhere.
I think it's Bullet is the name of the dog.
So the dog must be Bullet. I don't know. Who knows?
I can check my text messages during the commercial break.
By the time we get done with this. But today we are going to talk about movie theaters in Flora. Yes. And maybe touch on the drive-in and the town theater. Who knows what we'll say?
Yeah.
But we're going to dive right into that shortly here as soon as we come back from our commercial break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And I just want to say I checked my text messages from my dad. The name of Roy Rogers' dog is Bullet. I got it right.
Yay! Woo, we can rest easy tonight, can't we? We can finish out the day, folks.
All right.
How exciting.
Let's rock and roll now. Let's talk about theaters.
All right. Well, we're going to go back to Flora, the 1880s, and we have an opera house in town.
We need to say it like this, the Opera House.
The opera.
Yes.
We have the opera house
Exactly.
in town.
We're fancy.
We are fancy. That's exactly. When you think of Stacey Early One, you think of fancy. But yes, and it was literally just called the Opera House.
Yes.
And I think we've got a picture
We
of that,
do.
don't we? Oh,
Yep.
I'm in love with it.
This one, we'll come back to that one because we can see it in that picture. But
Yeah.
this one here,
Yes.
this is spectacular.
So this was located on West North Avenue, kind of in the area where Stanford Marking and the old Western Auto #Etchison building is at.
I think
right now.
I think it's the building where they have it's like a rent where you can rent a space right now. Ariel Star Photography owns that.
I don't think it's that far over.
Oh, you don't?
No, I think it's like literally right where. I think it's like sits kind of like because like the Stanford building would be all the way over. The sidewalk extends a little bit, but I think it's right there. My everything that I saw was literally it's the first building you come to when you're going down that road. So I believe it's kind of right there on the corner of Stanford Marketing, Western Auto.
Okay.
Well, not I mean the old Etchison building is where
Let's
I think
look
it's
at this
at.
picture.
See.
Okay, so I'm just judging
Oh, it might be.
by
It might be farther down.
Okay, so like if you can kind of see where the corner is.
Yeah. I
and-
wonder if they
and
extended
then-
our street
And
and built buildings.
I just don't think that this shows the whole length of the street. I don't think Robin Stanford's building
Nope.
is in this picture.
It's not.
Okay, so see in the kind of the middle of your screen where those top dormers on the tall buildings stick out, protrude over the sidewalk. Those 3 dormers, that building is still there, and
With those dormers,
with
yeah.
those dormers, and that was formerly a business in the '90s known as the Attic. Some of you might remember that. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's a private business. Someone uses it for an office.
Back in my
But-
day, it was Murphy's Dime Store.
Oh, okay. Well, this opera
No,
house
or that-
is
yeah, I'm
only
thinking
2
something like
doors down from that.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think it's kind of where
I am. I'm right. But I love this picture.
I love it.
Let's see this one right here.
Oh,
even more.
look at that! Because look how that. Okay, so like that building when it was built, it must have been specifically built because right in the middle of the 2 gentlemen, you have your box office.
Yes.
And you have those beautiful archways. So they must have literally built this building in the
Yes.
1880s because we were
Uh-huh.
founded, what, 1854?
Yeah.
So this comes along later because look at you. We're talking the dirt floor. Look at the men there, and that, oh my gosh, I would just kill to have that building back now.
Yeah. So what I love is the dirt road. Okay. So that's
Yes.
all nasty, but they did have a sidewalk that was paved.
Right. That's kind of interesting,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Because some of the really early pictures that we have of Flora, they are not paved. That is so. Look at the ornate the curvature.
Yes, the ornateness of it.
Oh, it's just
is
fantastic.
Beautiful.
So when we're talking about the Opera House, we are not talking movies yet. We are talking live performances.
Live performances.
So we're talking that back on the north side. For everything I've read, it was like a beautiful building, top of the notch in its day. I have no idea who built it. I don't know who owned it.
I don't didn't find any of that
The
either.
stage was to the north end of Stone or White Herb. The Birdcage Saloon is kind of how I picture it.
Yeah.
It's like you've got those live performances. Got probably a piano player.
The
down
funny
there.
thing about it is that one time I did know who owned it, and I had a picture of a woman standing in front of it, and I cannot find that information again. I don't know what I did with it. So maybe another time we might touch on it.
Yeah.
It was owned by a prominent family, I think, in Flora.
Yeah,
But,
I can't. Yeah, I don't
that
know.
owned a house, and I do feel like we may have even covered that family in the cemetery tour at one point.
So we need to look that back up. Wonder who. So if anybody was in the cemetery tour and you played a lady that was prominent and in town, and it was about the Orpheum, which I'm sorry, not the opera. Yeah, I'm sorry, the Opera House in the 1880s.
Yes.
So beautiful, beautiful. So now we go to the 1900s.
Yes.
Okay, so then excuse me, we have the Opera House still in existence. 1911, 1912 come along, and we built a movie theater place called the Florine.
The Florine.
The Florine, and we actually have a picture of the Florine.
Okay, yes, let's look here.
Same side as the road, the north side of West North Avenue.
Uh-huh.
Or is that East North Avenue? Because when I look at this picture, Beth, I'm not seeing the bank. I don't know. That's a really cool picture, though, with them. This would be 1954. This is a picture of when we did a 100-year celebration of Flora. So you can see at the top, these people are portraying the early 1800s when Flora was in existence. But see, because that's like the town theater. See where the Florine, because there's people on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's not. That's not on the south side of the road.
No, this was on the north side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then from my research, there was a couple of different addresses mentioned as the home of the Florine. Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of an argument between the men online about where it was. And so I'm not going to quote where exactly it was because I had different dates come up on that. So
look at the
I have another picture too. This is kind of off to the side of it, I think, at the same parade.
How neat is that? Yeah, but this is 1954. Look at the little kids down below.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's the Centennial of Flora, Illinois.
Centennial Parade.
The Centennial Parade. But that is really cool. I wonder what happened to that Florine. Oh, my gosh. I wonder who has that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, I know the Florine is definitely on the north side of the road.
Yeah, this is the north side of the road. And if we could kind of identify some of those buildings. I think it was just a few doors on past the Opera House.
I agree.
I think it was about where the gym is now.
And the reason why I'm saying, because here's the reason why I think it's the north side of the road. There's such a difference. Like if you walk downtown Flora, the sun is in these people's eyes. Okay, when you're on the south side of East or West North Avenue, you get shade all day long. It's actually probably 10 degrees cooler on the south side, and you never get sun till it goes down about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. That's how we know, because the people are blatantly in the sunshine. The sunshine is shining all over them. So we definitely know it's on the north side of the road. So I bet you're right. I bet it's just a few doors down. I bet it's on that same block as the Opera House was. See, I didn't know much about the Florine.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Florine either. I know that it was in business, I'm guessing, for about 15 years only.
Yeah, so it was another movie house.
Dates on different books that people had and different, accounts of it, but there's not a lot of information out there.
There really isn't. I mean, it's kind of surprising that there's not more information about the Florine. I love the name. Like with Flora, Florine. I mean, where'd they get that?
I think that's probably where it came from.
Yeah. So once again, for our viewers, if you have any idea, because you can get some information on the other movie theaters, but you really can't get that.
Because who knew Flora had so many?
I know, because we're not done. Yeah, we got one more that's here.
Yeah, and in fact, like in the early 1900s, there were 3 going at the same time, I think.
Yes, the next one in 1912 was the Casino Theater. The Casino, and it was on the south side of the road.
Yes, it was.
On West North Avenue, south side of the road, kind of down. To explain a little bit, like what we call the Stanford. We need to change the Two Glitzy Girls building.
Yeah,
now,
it's currently
AKA the Stanford building. It's been in all of our.
Yes, so it's right there on the corner of Main Street and North Avenue, and it would be on the southwest corner of that intersection. And now it's kind of the one great big building is just one storefront, I think. So you go into Glitzy Girls, but she has another part of the building that's an antique store now. Originally, that was 2 different buildings, and they each had their own. Yes. And they each had their own address. The Casino Theater was in the upstairs part of the second part where the antiques are now. So it would have been the second building from the corner of the intersection in the upstairs. 2-story brick building.
Yeah.
Because it was in the upstairs.
You can still see, like, I'm going to have to go by there. Gosh, it's crazy how your memory something you go by every day, and you're like, okay. But it's still 2 stories now, right?
Yes, and I've actually always wanted to go upstairs there. I think there used to be offices up there.
Yeah, did Jack Myers have his, like, there's, like, you can see where there was, like, that small door.
With a staircase that went up?
If you notice, like, a lot of our buildings downtown Flora, in between buildings, even though the buildings look like they're butting up to each other, there are, like, little doorways that go up to a lot of the, there's several of those little small doorways. I think that's pretty cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just pay attention to that. So we think that is where,
yes,
we know for a fact it was on the south side of the road.
Yes, and it was 103 West North Avenue, which would have been that building.
Yeah.
So right in between Glitzy Girls and the Advocate Press building.
That building would have been the casino.
Now full of antiques.
The casino theater.
The casino theater.
No, I'd love to go up there.
And it later changed names, right?
Yeah, and then the casino theater then turns into the Roxy.
The Roxy Theater.
I love that, the Roxy.
Yeah. And they showed movies.
These were all movies.
They were movie theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think Flora could support that many movie theaters. Because a certain number of years, there were 3 movie theaters.
Yeah, so you've got the Opera House, and you've got the Florine, and you've got the casino. And like I said, the Opera House did not show movies until the 21s when it changes hands again, and we're going to talk about the family that was implemental in changing it too. But yeah, and it makes you. So what we're talking the 1900s. When? Okay, so are we still silent movies? When were silent movies around? Think of your Charlie Chaplin days.
Yeah.
Is that the 1900s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like 19 between 15 and 20s, I think. It's kind of crazy. Early 20s. I think. I'm not sure when sound started.
I don't know either. That's an interesting question.
But I would guess, if I was just guessing on the sound, I would say like early 1930s.
Right.
And anything in the 20s was silent. Not sure if I'm right. Some film buff out there is going to be texting me.
Texting you. Well, we need the answers. Well, and the funny thing is, you know how much it costs if you want to go to the casino and see a Saturday matinee? What would it cost?
No, how much?
5 cents.
Oh, 5 cents. Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, how fun. I mean, my goodness, today you need to sell a kidney to go to the movies if you want popcorn and everything that goes along with it. It does get more expensive. But 5 cents to go into the casino.
That's cool.
And I wonder if casino meant like what we think of casinos now. I wonder if that was still the same.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that, that was an odd name. I mean, the Roxy.
That sounds very like movie theater.
The Flora, yeah, it does. It sounds very, like it definitely would be the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I wish we would have had, I wish I would have been around.
Yeah.
Back when those were in existence.
Yes.
Because,
yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about when we come back.
Let's take a
break.
How
the Opera House changes its name and talk a little bit about drive-ins and the town theater.
Okay. We'll be back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about the theaters in Clay County.
Yes.
The history of theater. So many
fun things. So we have touched on the Opera House of the 1880s, live performances. And then it's the 1911, 1912, and we've got the Florine movie theater and the Casino Theater, 1912. And then the Casino Theater turns into the Roxy.
Yes.
Love it, love it. So we've got 3 theaters happening. Now this is where it gets interesting. So, in the 1880s, the Opera House, live performances that we showed beautiful pictures of that building. We have a family that come from Kentucky. First, and they come here, and her name is Alma Maud Pirtle from Mayfield, Kentucky. She marries a gentleman from Flora named Frank Medley.
Okay.
In 1905.
This is the girl that I had the picture of, the Pirtle.
Yes.
I had a picture of her in front of the Opera House.
Yes.
Okay,
go ahead. Yeah, Pirtle's is the one, because it's like her brother, Cheryl Pirtle, is the one that actually, that's probably who you have the picture of, Cheryl Pirtle and his wife, because he's the one that's implemented in changing the name from the Opera House to the Orpheum.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Alma Maud Pirtle from Mayfield, Kentucky, marries a Flora man named Frank Medley in 1905. And they move to Flora. Okay, well, she gets very, very homesick for her family.
Aww.
So her father, who was a reverend, did not move with him. He had passed away.
Okay.
So she gets, she wants her family here. So she moves her mother, Isabel, here.
Okay.
She has a sister, Grace, and a brother named Cheryl. Okay, so she's very sad. So she moves those 3 to Flora, Illinois from Kentucky. They all lived at 538 West North Avenue. Okay. I know it is like, you remember like the Grubb Auto Sales, like that.
Oh, right there.
It's right there. That's where their home was at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they were at. Now, her brother Cheryl was very much into theatrics.
Okay.
He was the theater gentleman. So, they came to Flora, Illinois, and her brother Cheryl is the one that changed the Opera House and changed the name to the Orpheum.
Okay, and that was in 1921.
1921, the Opera House now becomes the Orpheum. Now, I didn't know what Orpheum meant, but Orpheum is Greek for movie, theater, music, performances.
Oh.
And is actually named after the Greek mythological figure Orpheus.
Okay. Well,
so this gentleman kind of knew his Greek mythology.
Well, back then you learned that in school. I mean, like everybody did. It was taught.
I love Greek mythology. I find it very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he becomes the manager of the Opera House, changes the name to the Orpheum because they are actually now highly involved in that building.
Okay.
Okay?
So I found a little bit interesting tidbits about the Orpheum.
Ooh,
tell me. When they built it in 1921, and it makes me kind of a fan of this Mr. Cheryl. What was his last name?
Pirtle.
Mm-hmm. He was a smart man, and you know why? Because he decided that he was going to put 2 new features into the theater. Mm-hmm. One of them was a ladies' room. Bless his heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pirtle.
These women would like to stay longer, and they might buy one of my sodas I'm selling at the front if we had a restroom instead of the outhouse out back.
Yeah. God
which
bless
is probably
him.
what they were using before. So they
neat.
added plumbing, and he added in a ladies' restroom. He also added in steam heat.
Okay, real quick. Okay.
Prior to that, there was no ladies' restroom in the Opera House or steam heat.
Steam heat.
Maybe they had wood heat. I don't know.
Yeah. Do we have any? Okay, so we have the early 1880s picture of the Opera House that later becomes the Orpheum. He didn't change the outside of the building.
It
No,
still
he
had
left
that.
it that beautiful.
He knew a good thing. This was a smart man. He's like, I'm going to leave the architecture the same because it's fabulous. I'm going to add a ladies' room because they need one. Thank you. And I'm going to add steam heat because we want everyone to watch their movies in comfort. And it says in the newspaper article that I read that these two things will be very much appreciated. Yes, I would say so.
Slightly, yeah, totally.
Yeah, he did some other changes, too, to the building. He added to the stage. It will now have new and beautiful scenery and the best lighting effects and stage equipment to accommodate any vaudeville or road show.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
so let's talk real talk now.
Vaudeville in Flora. It was happening.
Gosh, can you imagine?
It was happening.
So at this point, the Orpheum is still totally staged performances.
Nope. He also added in two machines that will show a picture without a stop. Ooh. So he shelled out some money. Apparently, he had made good money in Kentucky or wherever they moved from.
I don't know their venture in Kentucky.
So he added in two machines to show the movies without stopping. He added in heat. He added in plumbing and ladies' restroom, and he added in the very best lighting and stage equipment to accommodate any vaudeville or road show. So he could do it all. He could have live performances, or he could show a movie. Yeah. But I just really hadn't given much thought to vaudeville performers being in Flora, because you think about vaudeville and you think about, the Roaring Twenties, and it's all like in your head, it's all set in New York City.
Absolutely.
Or it's set in Paris. Like, all the movies that focus on these, when it's the 1920s movies.
The Moulin Rouge was in Flora. Yeah.
Yeah, but these things they were traveling road shows. I mean, they came to Flora.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually
I wish
really
there
cool.
was like a record of who was here.
Me too. That would be awesome.
That's really cool.
So that's what the Pirtles family did. Cheryl Pirtle was born in 1888 in Kentucky. He died in 1966 in Jerseyville.
That really wasn't that long ago. I mean,
no.
I mean, to some of you young people, it might seem like it was a long time ago.
Right. He died the year before I was born.
Yeah.
He died in Jerseyville, Illinois at 78 years old. His wife Edith died in 1989.
No kidding.
In Jerseyville. They had two sons. Forrest was born in 1950 and died in 1989, shortly after the mother.
Aww.
They had a son, get this, they had a son, William. He was born in 1917 and lived to 1994.
Wow.
So, these people, like we're talking, their children lived in the time that we all did. Let's see, like I said, Cheryl's father was Reverend Byron Jerome, and he passed away. He's actually buried in Tennessee. And the mother, Isabel, died in Flora. She's the only one that remained in Flora, and she died in 1936.
I wonder if she's buried in Elmwood.
I bet she is. If she died in Flora in 36, I bet she's out there.
I bet she is too.
That would be a really neat thing. So that's the Pirtle family.
Okay.
Who took the Opera House, made it the Orpheum, made it their own, added plumbing and steam heat, and
that's awesome.
Lived long, beautiful lives, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the Orpheum, and we no longer have that building. I have no idea. I can't find the trail runs cold.
On what happened?
On what happened to it, I don't know.
I think they just changed the front of the building, and I bet part of that building is the original building.
I bet it is too.
I bet they just added a new storefront when they changed it from being a theater.
Yeah, who owns that building now? It's that.
I think
Starlight Studio. Is Starlight Studio?
Starlight Studio.
I'm really okay. So, note to self, people who own buildings downtown, I'm going upstairs.
Yeah,
I've got to go in these
too.
buildings.
Yeah,
I got to go in these buildings. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the next one on our list.
Okay, so let's go back to the casino. Okay. So we've got the casino that later became the Roxy Theater, and we have decided that it is on the south side of the street, West North Avenue. To attend the casino theater, a.k.a. the Roxy, was 5 cents. I got a funny story.
Okay.
So our old mayor, Charlie Overstreet.
Yes,
remember Mayor
I
Overstreet?
remember him. He was in the Is We Is thing.
Is We Is. And Charlie Overstreet told a story about how he went to the Roxy Theater. They had just got a brand new silver screen. So we're talking, it's modernized now. Okay. So we're getting this baby.
This was probably what, the 40s, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to the Roxy Theater to watch a movie on this silver screen. So the silver screen was brand new. They were showing a movie, and it was famous for showing movies called Neptune's Daughter, The Christian, The Rosary, how would you say this? Cabriria? Cabriria?
Yeah, I guess so.
So anyway, those are some of the movies that the Roxy showed, where apparently, as little Charlie Overstreet was sitting in the movie theater eating his popcorn from the popcorn lady, because you couldn't sell popcorn back in the day because it was that lady's business. Do you know that?
Oh, no.
I'll tell that story when we get done.
Okay.
And when we talk about the town theater. And anyway, he's sitting there eating his popcorn, and a gentleman comes into the theater, and during the part where the bad guy and the good guy are fighting, the gentleman pulls out a gun, and he shoots the bad guy on the screen.
Oh, my gosh.
So everybody loses
He's lucky he didn't kill somebody.
He did. So, apparently he was like, gotcha, pow, pow, got you. Yeah, so he shot through the screen.
Oh, my gosh.
And since back then that screen was so expensive because it was the new silver screen, that bullet hole stayed in that screen till that place shut down.
I bet the owners of that place wanted to strangle that. Was it a kid or was it a grown
It just
adult?
says a gentleman shot.
I'd say a gentleman who didn't have all of his marbles.
But, okay, so real talk now. What happened to that screen? You talk about a piece of history.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they probably trashed it. No one kept anything back then. That's trash.
But can you imagine? Unfortunately, in today's times, we kind of can't imagine that. But
he wasn't there to kill anyone.
He wasn't there to kill anybody.
He was
fun. Shooting the bad guy.
Oh,
because we're talking, people were probably packing all the time in the 30s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How fun is that?
That is a heck of a story. I did not know that one.
5 cents will get you in the door and get you a bullet show.
Yeah, no kidding. But they started checking at the door, making sure nobody had any pistols.
Do you? Do you remember the first? Okay, let's go. You and I. Let's talk. What's your first movie you ever went to? Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
You can't think?
I can't think of the first one I ever saw. At a theater?
Yeah, at the theater.
What did you watch?
Carrie.
Carrie.
And I'll tell you what, that ending of Carrie. Oh, it was terrifying. I can't remember. I'll never forget. It was Sonja Harrison with Sonja Woods, her sister Misty, and we were all South Enders. We were all, and her dad Terry Woods, who I love dearly. He was a great man. He died really way too young. Took us to the theater. We saw the movie Carrie, scared the crap out of all of us, and then we went to the Holland's truck stop and had chicken afterwards.
Your memory's better than mine.
I love the Holland's truck stop, but we got to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth.
I am Stacey.
And today we're talking about theaters.
Theaters.
Yes, the theaters of Clay County. So, one I wanted to mention is that there was a drive-in theater.
Yep, I remember it.
Route 45, about halfway between Flora and Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it. I didn't live here when it was opened.
I remember it. I've just never been to a drive-in movie.
Yes, never, huh?
No,
I have been to a drive-in, I think twice, but not that one. And the one I went to, I grew up in Harrisburg, and the one that I went to, I think was in West Frankfort or Benton, somewhere over there.
Is it still
I went with
standing?
Friends. I have no idea. There's one in Newton, though. That's not too far from us.
Yeah,
and,
Newton still got one.
Yeah, and my kids have actually been to the one in Newton. They went with friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
The only thing I remember about the drive-in was that it's always like a double feature. So you go and you get to watch two movies.
Okay.
And the first one doesn't start until like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because it needs to be dark, right?
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but even when I was a kid, like, I would get really tired. Like, to make me sit still in the dark
in a car
4
for 2
hours, I would be like out like a light.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's too late. I don't know.
Yeah, our drive-in was built in 1949. It was out there on Route 45 between Flora and Louisville.
49. Okay.
Yeah, 49. I don't remember why. I remember, like I said, I never did go. I was born in 67, and it was around for a long time. I think it was still doing pictures and stuff. I don't know why I never did go to the drive-in. Mm-hmm. And I think Robinson had a drive. Jim talks about he was raised in Robinson, and they always went. There was one in Robinson too.
And he went to it quite a bit.
Yeah, he'd been to drive-ins, and I was like, when we first started dating, it was like, oh, you did take me to drive-in. That's one thing he's never done, take me to a drive-in.
Jason's never taken me either.
Interesting.
But I've never asked him to. It's not something that's like high on my list of things I want to go do.
Well, the only thing about a drive-in,
it's late at night.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'd rather watch a movie at home on the couch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Tell us the story about the popcorn lady.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned that
earlier.
I
mentioned that lady. So we've got movie theaters. Apparently, there was a lady in town, and I cannot remember what her name is, but she actually had a popcorn wagon. Okay. So she physically made popcorn, and it'd be like, she just pushed a little wagon downtown, really cute. It had her popcorn. It popped its popcorn. It had a cute little red and white canopy over it, and she sold popcorn. So when these movie theaters started to be coming into existence, especially we're going to talk about the town theater in a minute, they could not sell popcorn or refreshments inside there because that was that lady's business. That's all she did for a living was walk down the street during matinees and sell popcorn to people outside of the movie theaters.
So out of respect for her, they didn't sell it, or was it a law that they couldn't sell it?
I think it was out of respect for this lady that nobody could sell popcorn.
That's integrity.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so like how cute would that be anyway?
Yeah.
Because
that would be super cute. I want to kind of have a little popcorn stand.
Yeah, so like fun. you couldn't like she would just like I said walk around and especially I think this really more started happening like around the town theater when the Spaldings in the 50s. So we're going to touch on the town theater.
Okay.
Which is something near and dear to Beth and I's heart.
We love the theater.
We love the theater. It was built in 1952. The Spalding family are in Flora, and they build this beautiful building to show pictures. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, this is the theater that I remember. I mean, this is the theater
I remember.
This is the theater that I went to. What's interesting, I was talking to Carla Stanford about the town theater, and it's almost like it's like that, like where the theater's at. It was like it's like a bowl.
Yeah, okay? I felt like an arc shape.
An arc shape this way, north and south, and east and west. And they actually brought in oxen to dig that down.
Oh my goodness.
So I think it was might have been her father or her grandfather, a relative of Carla Stanford, told me the story where they literally brought the oxen in with the pulleys and they dug down, and I believe it was dug down 5 feet.
Wow.
Into the earth, because like all your buildings downtown, because I would imagine the other movie theaters didn't have that where the stage sloped down.
Yes, but I have a really serious question.
Okay.
How did they do that and also have a basement? There is a full basement under that theater.
There is.
It's an original basement. It's still
It's
there.
not a full basement.
Well, it's not?
No,
You're
notice
right. It's
not. It's not a full basement.
It's not as big.
Because that one room down in the middle is very narrow. You've got the weirdness.
Yeah, so maybe that's how they did it.
Yeah.
Because
it
wasn't a full basement. It's
No.
only under part of it.
Yeah, the very back south side of of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is a basement. That's where the boiler was and everything. To heat the building. But yeah, I was just curious how
they dug that out, and they brought the oxen in and they dug that out. Then they poured their concrete floor. They poured that because the original the concrete floor was there, and then they put their movie theaters seats all the way down. Mm-hmm. The only thing I remember that is like being a little girl and sitting there eating M&Ms and dropping my M&Ms and hear them go and hit the stage. And then it had that really cool, like the stage that we have now that Jim built for live performances, but the actual theater stage was very small.
Yes, it's only like 9 feet out from the back wall of the building.
Yeah, from the back wall, and the original brick and everything is there. And
6 or 9 feet.
We've
9, Jim said.
We've kept the original wood that's back there. So the Spaldings come and they make a beautiful movie theater. It has a beautiful balcony in it. And remember when wasn't it the Catholic Church?
Yes, they held services there for a while. The Spalding family was Catholic.
The Spalding family were Catholic. Yep. And they built... Oh, we have a picture of that. Don't we have a picture of the town theater? Ah, look at this fun.
Yes. So I just want to say something about this picture. Is that one of the boys, he's holding the hand of the little girl in the white dress in the second row.
Yes.
I could swear that's my dad. And I've actually shown this picture to him, to my grandma, to my aunt. None of us could be sure who that was. There was somebody else on Facebook. They thought it was another little boy. This is a kindergarten class from either McKendree School or Seminary School that's walking down in some kind of parade. I believe my dad went to kindergarten at Seminary. Someone else thought this was a class for McKendree, which would put him out as not being that little boy. But if that is not my dad in that picture, it is another boy that looks exactly like him. So very interesting.
That's really cute.
Yes, so this would have been about 1955 or 56.
So you can see in that middle, right underneath where it says the town, and that town theater marquee is still there. We took it down, and I'll go there in a minute. But right now, so you can see that middle where the doors are at. There's an actual ticket booth that actually set out in front. And so you would do your ticket booths, and then you could see where the doors you'd walk into those sides. It's a little bit different now. Now where those doors were at were now windows, and you actually walk in the doors where the ticket booth was at. For some reason, an owner took that ticket booth out. So you had the Spaldings that built it. Doug and Jan Phillips owned it. Bill Oliver had possession of it at one time, and then the theater was sold to a company in Fairfield. And they actually took it and twinned it. So, like, you had two different movies.
Right, built a wall right down the center, so you can watch one movie on
so
one side and the other.
Yes, what happened was the center aisle was the ticket booth was taken out because when Doug and Jan had it, it was still right there. And so when Bill Oliver had it, that ticket booth was there. So I think the people from Fairfield kind of did their way with it a little bit, made two. The balcony was closed off because you needed to close off the balcony at this time because you needed to make a projection over here and a projection over here so you can have two different. It's still slanted when you went down. When you walked down the hallway, you sloped down on that original concrete. Then you went into your two side doors for the theater. And then we all know that then the Winter Roads took possession of it with Kevin Clark. And they tried to bring back the movie theaters, but by this time, my goodness, you've got Netflix, you've got Peacock, you've got all these things. And what happened, it was like then productions got to be so outrageously big that like a small town like Flora could not afford to
Right.
purchase it. And, so people were like, so it was only giving them like Mount Vernon, Effingham, big places.
Bigger venues.
Bigger venues, and then they could afford to do it. So then by the time we all went up to Effingham or Mount Vernon to watch a movie, ta-da, it was done.
Kind of killed the
So it kind of killed that.
theaters.
And then the Winter Roads and the Clarks didn't really have an idea what to do with it. They tried to keep it open, doing other little events. So they generously donated it to, we started Nostalgia Theater.
It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and we named it Nostalgia Theater. And it's Jim and Stacey and myself and Matt Lovett and Amy Allen are on our board.
Yep.
And we have some big plans for the theater.
We
are still remodeling.
We are in remodeling mode, and
you mentioned the marquee. Matt Lovett took it down, redid it, painted it.
Yes,
we're getting
it's
ready to
beautiful.
add lights to it, and it's going to always say Town Theater, even though
Yes.
our nonprofit organization is called Nostalgia. The building itself that will always say Town Theater, because Stacey and I don't like to change things.
Yeah, we are nostalgic.
We are nostalgic.
No, that's the reason why I was like, what are we going to call the 501? Nostalgia was just perfectly for. Like Beth said, our 501, but it will always be the Town Theater. So when we do things that you see things advertised, it will say Nostalgia Theater, originally the Town Theater, because we wanted to keep it. But we have opened up that balcony. It is opened. It is back to one large open room.
Right.
The difference is we're not showing movies. It's not to show movies.
Right. No, we're going to do a live entertainment.
Live entertainment.
Community
theaters.
And we're also a venue that you can rent out for weddings, receptions, baby showers.
And it is looking beautiful in there.
Reunions. We're going to have beautiful
Yes.
chandeliers hanging from the ceilings. The floors are going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Right now the lighting and the flooring is still on hold because we're working on replacing the roof.
We're working on
So-
yes, exactly. So be patient with us. But it is beautiful. We've held a couple things in there, and it can be decorated spectacularly because we've got black velvet curtains hanging on the walls. We've painted the entire place has been painted. My husband that mentioned that oxen with the bowls. Well, in order to be able to put tables on there, my husband John Castellari put a flat floor on that, and it was a booger to say the least because every cut.
It involved a lot of math.
It
was
involved
a good
a
thing
lot.
Jim is an
engineer.
engineer.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jim is an engineer, and he's done a remarkable job. And we have built out a stage because we needed a bigger stage for
So,
live
The floor
performances.
is completely flat now. And then there's a very large stage built in there for live performances.
Well, and one of our live performances coming up on
That's right.
Friday and Saturday, May 5th and 6th. One Wife, Too Many. It is a play that is very funny. And we're
Yes.
excited about that. And it's a little challenging play. It's something totally different than what
different
we've
than what-
ever done before. It's not a variety show.
It's fast-paced comedy. So
Fast-paced.
if you like to laugh, you're going to
And-
like this show.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's the play. There's no music. There'll be some fun sound effects, but no music. But so that is our deal on theaters.
Yes, so yeah. I hope that you guys would, if you're interested in seeing Nostalgia Theater, stop by sometime. We love to give tours. Stacy's up there a lot. I'm up there a lot. Stacy's shop is currently right next to the theater. So
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, come in, stop by. We
Yeah.
would love to have you show you around. We're proud of it. We are very, very proud of what we're doing. And once again, all the money is we are a non-for-profit. So after we get everything taken care of, all the money generated will be going back out into the community. We are not keeping.
That's
we
right.
have nobody on payroll.
Yep, and Nostalgia Theater does have a Facebook page, Nostalgia Theater, and there is a button on there. I believe it says shop here or something because that was the only option to put. But you can actually click on that and make a donation. It'll go directly into our account.
And it's a
Nostalgia,
tax write-off.
yeah, and it's a tax write-off because we're a 501c3. So
Real quick, end up here. Rules to live by. I love it. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
Ooh.
AKA, mind your business.
Yeah, no kidding. Live your life. Don't worry about other people. That's a good one.
Love it. Mind your business.
Yeah.
And
that's all the time we have.
That's all we've got.
Yeah, this was a full show. So thanks for joining us. See you next time.
God bless you. Have a good day.